Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. This platform was built by Sparkies for Sparkies. We simply exist to make business owners more profitable, or businesses more profitable and more predictable. So we want to work with people that work hard because we love working hard too, that work smart because you got to be on top of the business, people that are kind because no one likes a dickhead. Am I right? People who want results because that's what we're here for, right? And people who want to be part of a like-minded community. So if you're interested in hearing more about the platform, please reach out and enjoy the podcast. Sparky Coach Pod featuring Ford Lord and some spilt coffee.
Yes.
How much did you spill?
A good chunk.
Is that
a good gulp?
Are you more devastated for your daily coffee intake or for your clothes?
No, I'm on a spill and it's like half full now. Might have to run out and make another one. Can we stop this?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. How are you? What's been happening? You obviously, Ford Lord runs New Age Electrical based out of Ballina. You run Lockout and Live. You run New Age Media and Spark Your Interests podcast. So
and now the hiring a podcast room. So we just charge it out. It's $1,000 a session if you want to borrow the pods.
You know what I say? Problem with the invoice, problem with the process. I didn't know about that. I'll just pay it when it comes in.
Right.
So,
read the T's and C's.
Now, what's happening? Busy man.
Yep, got a bit going on. Busy, good though. Like I don't like saying, oh yeah, I'm busy, but like I think as a whole, we've got a lot going on, like business wise. And then just sort of navigating the best use of my time, I guess, is still probably my hardest thing to figure out where I'm best utilized. Like at the moment it's like, I'm still bouncing between quoting, doing like back costing, still running projects. I've started sort of taking over a bit of the service side, organisation and invoicing and quoting as well. So I've probably taken on like even more than I had before, but it's good. Like it's sweet. It's all manageable. The other guys have stepped up into running a few more projects, so I don't have to do that, which is the main goal for us this year. Was like me and Jared both want to step down from running any projects at all, which is it's kind of easy said than done, but there's a lot of moving parts with it. So
from the quoting too.
I think we'd still all just share the quoting still, like between the four of us. I think it's just like there's so much quoting. Like I just don't think like we've got the offshore estimator, but they're not at a level where you can just give them a plan and say, send me a price. So we still need to be quite heavily involved. I actually don't know if anyone has that in their business. I'd love to know if they do, like an offshore where they are competent enough to go, here's the plans, send me back a price. So
let us know. I definitely haven't heard of anyone that, even the estimators, because we do a lot of quoting help with people in Sparky Coach and they might have outsourced to estimators, which I still feel like is a bad idea. And then they'll bring something to us and I'm just like, how do they work out the break-even rates? Who worked out the hours? Like it's all good. I think the most interesting thing with that is there's so many ways to do like 10 PowerPoints. Industrial, commercial, what's the height? Are you on a scissor? Are you on a ladder? Are you like under the floor, on top? Like there's just so many variables that
a guy in the Philippines probably doesn't know.
He might know more than more.
I think the good thing is we then like dissect a job as if we're doing it. So even if we don't win it, like we're planning and quoting a job as if we're already doing it. So therefore, if we do win it, we know exactly how we're going to do it, how we're going to execute it and everything like that, which is like, yes, it probably takes more time and we put more time and effort into the pricing, but when the job does come around, which if it does is a good thing, we're like geared up. We're like, all right, we know we got to do this, and this is how we're going to do it. We've already planned it all out because we priced exactly the way we think we'd do it.
That's exactly what I used to do. I used to get the price book to the best of your ability, throwing up a price. And, you know, we chat about this a lot, but a lot of times you can look at plans and have a gut feel. That's $100,000 job. That's a $300,000 job, or that's a $10,000 job or whatever. And then double check it with the stages, whether that's one stage or 100 stages of here's how long the underground is going to take. Here's how long this is going to take. And you can sort of get a feel to do the job before you do the job. And then the coolest thing about that is once you do the job And if you make money, you will know sort of, you better, oh, okay, that was good. Or if you lose money, you can compare it back to a stage.
Yeah.
So I wanted to chat to you a couple of things. I know you guys have just been through a huge rebuild in the past 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And you know, talk us through, I want to talk a bit about what that looked like and how you went about that. But I also want to talk, I know a lot of people get sort of analysis paralysis, and there's so much to do, so they do nothing.
Yeah.
Are you a big Simpsons guy?
I was.
You know when,
I don't,
when
not
you know when
anymore.
Mr. Burns gets like he basically super sick, and the guy's like, well, actually, all your diseases are trying to get through at once, and they just get stuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Or
No.
Damn it. So anyway, I think so many people can have so many balls moving that they sort of get stuck.
Yeah.
And I think if you looked at a business holistically, there is so much to do, and there's probably 5 to 10 items that are critical to the day-to-day operations of the business. But there's like hundreds of stuff to do. So I guess like what I'm trying to say is, if you told yourself 5 years ago or 3 years ago what it took to get to this point, you would have been so overwhelmed. But it's like, it's almost like, I heard you talk on the Spark Your Interest pod, or, we should have done this when we first started, but I don't think you would have had time to do it when you first started, or had the knowledge or intellectual property or capability to do it. So what's your sort of reflection on that journey you've been on?
On, I guess, like restructuring things a bit. I think it's just like you're always growing, hey? Like you're always sort of getting better and things in place. And like we look back at something and go, how the fuck did we do this without? Well, like we obviously did it. Like we did it somehow, but it's like, how did we do that? And it's I think like everyone, I guess you're always quick to judge as well. Like, you might see another contractor and be like, how did they win that job? Like they only got 3 guys or this or that. And it's like, they're probably at that starting spot where they'll realize and implement things. And sometimes you only learn that through trial and error, or like putting yourself in that way. I think like one of the big changes we made was just utilizing Simpro more. Like we'd been in with Simpro for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And
did you guys start out with Simpro?
No, we started out with ServiceMate. And I think like a year or 2 in, we changed to Simpro. And just never set it up properly. And so I was talking to a couple of other people, shout out Tommy Angel, TCA, down in Sydney, Northern Beaches, Bondi, I think. He'll hate that. So he came up here, and I was just like, we were going through him a few ways. He was running like his project quotes and having like the variations inside it and all this shit. And we were like, what the fuck? We don't do that. And like and he's like, he thinks we've got our shit together. I think he's got his shit together. So it's interesting when you collaborate like 2 different people, like there's things that we do that he doesn't, there's things that he does that we don't. And we're like, oh, that's amazing. And, vice versa. And then it made me gave us all the kick in here to be like, all right, let's like put a bit more time into this. So we jumped on with Darren from Platinum Consultants, who set it up for us originally. I've always sworn by him. If you have Simpro and you've never like dealt with Darren, you're missing out, because I feel like he's the only person in the world that can explain things within Simpro to a dumb tradie that's not computer savvy. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm computer illiterate. Like I'm so bad. And so he really explains things well. I think I did another session with someone else once and I was like, nah, never again. Like it sucked. So we always request him. It's really good. I think it's $250 an hour. But we gave him a list of stuff. Like, we want to book in 2 hours. He's like, there's no way you'll get through all that. And we managed to get through it all. He's like, oh, we actually smashed it. I'm like, well, we already have the understanding of everything. It was just kind of honing in on things.
Yeah, you got the understanding, I guess, and the frustration of what it could be like. And what kind of stuff did you in that list you gave him? What kind of stuff did you dial in?
I think like one of the main things was just getting the costing and the backtracking correct, because we pretty much everything we did we extracted into a spreadsheet. So we were doing everything. We were just double handling everything. So we would take everything out and cost a job in a spreadsheet. And then we were like, all right, sweet, yeah. And then we'd put that into another spreadsheet with like a cost tracker of all our jobs of, how much money we were making, or, profit and loss on that. And we realized like there was just simple things like the checking in and out wasn't locked on a schedule. So therefore it wasn't correct in the jobs, and we always like manually manipulated things. Same thing with materials. We were manually manipulating, and I've said it to a few people as well of like, oh, this is how you meant to do it, and everyone does it the way we're doing it. So a lot of people don't know. And then just having all the employees set up correctly with overheads and stuff in Simpro. I don't think we ever had that done properly. Like obviously in Xero, it's all set up and we knew all our overheads and everything, but it wasn't set properly in Simpro. So like we might have got a new employee and they have no overhead set against them, and it just blows out all your
you get a misread
estimates
on,
and like you get a misread on it. So now it's set up perfectly. Like if I quote, it's like going through the mini quote checker. It's literally fucking percent for percent.
Yeah.
If I take the data out of Simpro and put it in there, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I know now I can just go through Simpro and be like, yep, profit margin is sitting at this, send it, instead of extracting out, putting into something else, putting it back in. And like we were doing so much double handling. And then the same thing with quoting. We did everything was quoted through spreadsheets, and we've talked so many times on the podcast about how good our spreadsheet is. We took 2 years to build it, and we literally were just like, we need to just use the pre-builds. So what we did was have the pre-builds linked to a takeoff template in ground plan. So then when you counter plan, it automatically comes into a project quote, which we never did. And like now we're like, how the fuck did we not do that before? Because it saves so much time.
Yeah, it's so interesting to talk about because obviously I think the most important thing for anyone listening to this and feeling incredibly overwhelmed at what you need to do, the most important thing is to understand what you're actually looking for first. And I think once you've been in business a while, you know exactly what to look for in terms of net profit, gross profit, break-even rates. And once you know that and you look at your day and you're like, well, how many hours we get in that day, that week? And do I handle that with a tradie or tradie apprentice or 2 tradies and 2 apprentices? Or how did I quote it? There's so much foundational knowledge going into it that once you understand the foundations or concepts, you can apply that through your job management software. So that's super cool. And how much time did you, like, have you guys all given it heaps of time? Like,
yeah. Easty's probably given it the most. He put a lot of effort into making pre-builds, making templates, because he's pretty good, because he's obviously doing the automation and stuff as well. He's pretty switched on with the computer side of things. And I think he knows that I would probably do like a bit and be like, fuck this, and just like give up or it wouldn't get done. So he committed a fair bit of time. So yeah, and we all collectively sort of worked on it, but he would have 100% put way more in testing it, getting a job, send it to the estimator, take it off, put it, and then that didn't come through properly, go back, tweak it. And then now to the point where like being able to quote these bigger jobs is like heaps quicker.
So good. That's amazing. I love when people get to work on that. And what's your advice? Like, what advice would you give yourself 2, 3, 4 years ago? Would you say, you obviously probably had a young family at that point. Would you be like, no, rip and tear and do it? Or
no, I think I think a big thing is like set aside the time. There would have been so much things that I was doing then that I could have spent more time on that for sure. Whether it's, taking time out of doing personal things a little bit to put more effort into that, whether it was maybe not working as much on the tools and hiring someone and then working on the back end side more. But I would say like if you can set something up there'd be nothing worse now than someone going and starting with Simpro and then not setting up properly and then just getting it 4 or 5 years in like we have. And then you've got all these employees, you've got to try and redo it all and retrain people. If you just take the time to do it properly from the start, yes, it's going to cost money. Yes, it's going to take time. Yes, it's kind of boring, but it's on it. Like you kind of have to do it. And like if it pays dividends when it's set up correctly. And you don't know until you're doing it. And I think because it costs so much money, people just be like, oh, they just deal with it. And like, oh, it is what it is. And you just kind of put up with maybe it not being set up correctly. And it must be good because everyone says it's good. And maybe there's nothing else better out there. So you just keep rolling with it, even though it's not set up right.
It's so interesting because, we're in the middle of building an app out at Sparky Coach, which I'm really excited about. It'll come out in a month or so. But contextually, you look at something, it's going to cost me 10 to 20 grand. And then let's say setting up Simpro, and then you look at it, you might not be able to afford that at this point or whatever, but you can afford chunks a week or something. But it's so interesting because the amount of money you would save by doing that will far supersede that 20 grand. Like if you're pricing wrong or quoting incorrectly or unaware of how your numbers are going, you'll be losing money everywhere. Like I sit with the most dialed people, and every week there's money coming out somewhere where they didn't know, or they didn't double check. And it's like, when you're consistently moving labor and materials and it's subjective on who's doing it and where they're doing it and what the weather's doing and what the traffic's doing and all these, what the apprentices are doing, and is someone sick or someone on holidays, there's so many variable components going over the top that if you're not sort of getting in there and manually sort of checking things, so much can go through the cracks.
Well, I think if you put it in a perspective of this, of like, say it takes you 2 weeks solid to set everything up correctly, and then in doing so, it would mean that it's quicker to price things, and because your pricing's set up, but then you don't do it, and then a job takes you 4 days to price, but if you had it set up correctly, it'd only take you 1 day, and you do that over 4 years and you're pricing 4 jobs a week, there's probably like 4 months of wasted time compared to the 2 weeks at the start. So like if you actually sacrifice that time, because that's what we did pretty much. Like, you know, like a lot of the quotes were taking us way longer to do. Whether it made us like have our head in it a bit more, like because we spent so much time on, you know, building it out and doing it, I don't know. But I think like now being able to churn out more, you got to know, like when you're pricing that sort of work, like you get like maybe 1 in 10 jobs. So you need to be pricing as much as you can.
Yeah, you need to be. And obviously,
if you price 2 commercial projects, you're guaranteed you're probably going to get neither unless you're the cheapest. If you're pricing 10, hopefully you get 1, which is what you need to do.
Yeah, and it's interesting to reference that. And even just the sheer overwhelm of knowing a quote is going to take 2 to 3 to 4 days can just put that emotional weight and pressure across you.
And we always leave it till the last day.
Yeah.
ADHD, superpower, kick in and do a 2-day quote in 2 hours.
And then you've told them it's halfway there, and then now you got to ask them questions that you should have been asking at the start. We've got a really good RFI template we send out to everyone, and it's like, just get these questions answered. So the email comes in or tender comes in, just get some questions out. Like just put an hour aside, and that worked for me. Put an hour aside and get something to them so you're not looking for it later. Now, interestingly enough, I want to chat about this, and you sort of brought it up, that a most common thing I have with people, I know there's a big coaching sort of thing about like everyone needs to get off the tools and that kind of stuff. And, you know, I just want to talk about more like the emotional. I was chatting to someone the other day who've got 8 staff members, and they were in a mode of like, I just feel bad. I'm getting off the tools, and I know I need to be in the office, but I feel so bad that I'm not. And I think it's really interesting to talk about because, you know, I was sort of laying out to them, if you've got to sort of generate revenue, drive profit, and control your time, like that's the 3 sort of mantras that we sort of preach. But, you know, if you're on the tools still ripping and tearing on a job, that might be best for that job, but then it's not best for the business.
It's taken out of something else, isn't it?
And it's like you look at holistically, let's just say you can earn $120 an hour on the tools or something for the business, that's $1,000. Well, you can lose 10 grand by not getting that quote back, or you can lose a client by not getting that variation email. So the opportunity cost becomes too great. And it's like, well, you can only do so much with a pair of pliers in your hand, but in the office, you can almost be omnipresent across all jobs. But then, you know, you've got the other side of the realm is, well, I'm good at the tools. I'm comfortable here. It's my skill set. It's my zone where I feel like I'm accomplishing something. And now I've going into the office where I'm untrained, uneducated, unproductive, feeling lost, feeling like I've got too much to do. And the interesting thing for me is always like the site stuff we're so good at. I haven't finished roughing this in. The ladder's going against the wall, and the tools are going back, and I'll come back tomorrow. But in the office, there's no end to the stuff you can do. So I want to talk about a couple of bits. Like when did you sort of realize, hey, it's tools down? I know you've been a bit boots on recently at times as well, but like what is how did you sort of compartmentalize moving from something you were really good at to something you were maybe not so good at? And how did you find that journey more emotionally than anything?
I think to start, I think there's 2 types of people that start a business. Like some people will start a business knowing that their goal is to get off the tools. It kind of wasn't our plan when we started. Like we just started and it kind of just happened, and then you grow. like I didn't think we would get to the size we're at and have an office and all this stuff. Like when we started, it was kind of just winging it, I guess. And I think like when you're talking about someone who's got like 8 staff and they're on the tools, like what do they want? Because I think like if you want to stay on the tools, you've got too many staff. Like you've got to have, or you've either got to hire people to do the office stuff for you so you can stay on the tools, which is, that's going to be hard to find, or you go smaller. Because like if you want to stay on the tools, like are you really doing it to run a business, or are you doing it because you want to be a Sparky that runs his own company? Like it's, I don't know, I just feel like if you start a company, you start getting more staff, you need to you have to know at some stage the inevitable is going to come and you are not going to be on the tools and you're going to have to be in the office. It's better for your staff because you should be more organized. You're keeping work flowing in, so you're keeping them in a job. And like how sustainable is doing, like I was talking to someone the other day and I was like, well, what do? You work all day on the tools and then you obviously go home and do invoicing at night, quoting at night, everything at night. Like how much are you working? It's like, yeah, we're doing 14-hour days, 15-hour days every day. I'm like, how long can you do that for?
Yeah, and you take that, I think I've been reflecting a lot recently on just trying to identify what you want. So like what do you want? And you might be like, why you might not be able to articulate and identify what you do want. I don't know what I want. And you can definitely articulate what you don't want. Like I don't want to lose my marriage over working 15-hour days. I don't want to miss every school and activity for the kids. I don't want to not be able to go on holidays. I don't want to be pushing really hard for not much money. And I don't know many people in the world, if any, that would trade money for happiness. Like if you said, hey,
money for time,
it's like, and it's like, well, if I took that money from you and just you were super happy, you'd be like, yeah.
Like if someone said to you now, I'll give you $100 million, but I'm going to take 10 years of your life, would you do that trade?
I wouldn't. No, not for the kids at the age they are. Like that's priceless to me. Like I play handball.
So say someone goes, all right, you're going to live till you're 70, but I'll give you $100 million now, but you're only going to live to 60. What would you do?
Do I miss 10 years of the kid's life? Like, would I?
Yeah, you just die.
I don't know.
You're guaranteed to live to 70, but like I feel, because if I say like 90 or 80, like fuck, no one knows or no one cares about that though.
Yeah.
But like that's not far away for you.
You know what's really interesting for me?
I'm not saying you're old. I'm just saying.
No, I am pretty old.
You're not thinking about it.
Yeah. No, I'm reflecting on. I know what I want to do with my life. I know what I'm sort of called to do. I love my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to trade it for anything.
Yeah.
And I think even about like exiting off the tools for me, and for me that's not tools anymore. It's out of the sort of maybe one-on-one coaching. It's not. It's just better for the members and the people that I'm more in a different role now. Yeah. Like our product is better when I don't do that anymore or whatever. It's just such an interesting concept to be like.
It's the same with like any style of company, right? Like you're going to have to level up at some stage and you give things up and hire someone to do it. And it happens everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what you're never going to be doing the same thing you started doing. You can't hold on to it. You've got to it's like before people hire admin and they're still trying to do it all. And then it's like, you got to give it up. There's time comes when you got to bring someone in to do it.
Yeah.
And let them do what they're trained to do. And I think the same thing when you hire tradies to be on the tools for you. And like, I know everyone, obviously we're all good. We're all the best Sparkies, but it's I think when you step back off the tools as well, you realize that like, you can put time and effort into creating great Sparkies that work for you and put time and effort into them and like help, build them into a good Sparky as well.
Well, it's interesting. I was chatting with this guy yesterday and I was sort of saying, I know you think you're really good on the tools, but you're probably not that good. When you're roughing in something or you're fitting a PowerPoint off or you're throwing a new circuit in and your head's in 100 different places, like how good can you actually be at that? And I think the thing that makes a good tradie is that quick decision making, or hey, instead of doing that way, we're going to do this. Hey, we're going to put cable tray like down the middle.
Well, they're kind of focused on one thing, right? Like not like one thing, but like you're focused on one job. Whereas if you're running a company, with 8 staff and you're on the tools, you haven't got one job in your mind. You're thinking about every job.
Yeah.
So therefore, like, you can never be. It's fine. Like, it's different. There's a difference. Like, you might have been really good when you're an employee, or when and you work for someone else and you're the best, but you're on one project and that's your main focus. But then when you step into running a business and you've got to deal with 10 different jobs and builders calling you from another site and doing this and doing that, like, there's no way you can be as good as you were before.
Yeah, I remember for me, we were doing this duplex. I had to get these blind cords soldered before sheeting. And I remember going there and I was like, had a whole bunch of stuff in my head. I ended up slipping with a brand new 25 mil speed bore, put it through my fingers. If you're looking at this on YouTube, my finger is very wonky at this point. And so basically was in surgery, emergency surgery, had my hand in this plastic cast for 12 weeks, still struggle with movement across the two fingers. But it's like, it's so funny. If one of my employees did that, I would have been like, this guy's such a kook. How on earth do you? But I physically remember at that point, I remember feeling so much stress, so much, got to call this person back, got to do that, got to get that quote out, I got to get that. And it's such a mundane, routine thing. Like, even stitch drilling this thing out with a speed ball was a bad idea. Like, you don't use a speed ball like that.
Yeah.
But when you're rushing, and we know nothing good comes of rushing, but when you're in that mode of like, I don't know if it's a cortisol or just adrenaline or just busyness or stress or what do you want to call it? The pressure's on. And it's like, that's when you make mistakes. And how long can you juggle on one leg for is an interesting thing. So your pathway into the office, like, where do you see, you got lots of balls juggling in the air yourself at the moment. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Like, what do you think you're inherently good at? And what do you see like the
I think like most of the guys in here would say the same thing as well. It's like, I'm probably, the business development side is probably where I'm, it's like, oh, we need more guys. No one else is going to organise that apart from me. We need more work. It's probably going to be me that's doing that, like, whether it's reaching out to people or, the good thing is now, like, the guys are obviously making relationships with their own clients and builders that they project manage. So, stuff might come directly to them, or they might reach out for different stuff, which is good. But I think, like, just being in control of everything, like, when I'm spread too thin, you're kind of out of control. But I like just keep bringing new processes in, and we're doing this. This is how we got to do this now. And I think just like managing from a higher level where I'm not spread too thin would be obviously the goal. Like, I probably don't need to have my head around the maintenance. Like, that should be its own thing with someone running it, which it will be. That's fine. It kind of just, it was already kind of there. It's just needed a bit of love, which we've been working on, which is on its way. And then I'm not good at project managing jobs anymore. And anyone that works for us that has me project manage a job would 100% say the same thing, because I don't have I don't have the time to put into it when I'm dragged into too many different places. Not to the level that these other guys run them at anyway. But yeah, it's a hard one to say. Like, 5 years, I don't really know. I don't know where we'll be at. Like, because that's the thing. Like, if we keep growing and ideally we want to get into like being a go-to commercial and high-end residential, which is what we're doing, but like more and bigger is what I want to get to. So I might not be able to step out for a while unless we need to keep growing at the same rate and putting people into those positions for me to get into that sort of realm, I guess. So it's kind of hard like that to know exactly where.
It's so interesting looking at you from the outside, because, you're so talented on a podcast. Your social media doesn't follow any typical trends, and I love that. I actually had that as a question come in. You guys don't follow any sort of, how people have got like the trendy music and there's the skit. I don't know what the correct word is, but you don't follow anything like that. Is that because you don't like it, or is that?
I don't like it. Like, it'd be like, what's one that people do? Like, I don't like TikTok, so I wouldn't do but I feel like a lot of stuff comes from TikTok or something. I've never fucking been on TikTok. I think I started it and I started posting some lockout stuff on there, and I was like, oh no, fuck this. It's full of kooks. And then someone would be like, we need a dance, like when people are doing dances and stuff like that, or sing, like, if I ever do that, permission to shut my page down. I just like showcasing good, like I just film stuff that I want to watch. And I don't think there's really anyone else making similar content that I like that I always put it back to like the guy that I love is Mike Page from Residual Electrical in the UK. Like he's very he puts like a lot of cinematography style electrical content out there and like documentary almost style and on his YouTube and stuff, which I love. And I guess that's like when I film, I'm trying to film it in a way that's like that style of things. And like I'll obviously do a lot of the filming myself, and I don't want to, it's not about getting likes and views and comments. I'm just making videos that I like, sort of thing. And then we might put a funny video out that we make or something like that.
Is that when you feel most like yourself?
If I'm doing that, no, I just like doing it. Like I spoke to someone the other day and they said, oh, if you could choose between like becoming a influencer fucking dude or running the company, what'd you do? I was like, I'd do New Age 10 times over. I don't really care about that. Like I'd way rather run an electrical company than end up like doing like, you know, like Matt from Addicted to Tools, how he's like full-time doing online stuff. I would way rather run the business and do that. And that's not like a financial thing or anything. That's just like, even if that was going to get more money, I just like running a business. And I just think I'd always want to do that.
That's cool. Yeah, I often feel like for myself, the most I feel like myself, or I'm operating my gift every single week is producing the podcast. It's the most I feel comfortable at home in my calling, in my gift. Like
I love doing it. I don't know. Like I still feel like a bit of imposter syndrome sometimes when it's like, but I'm like, fuck, it's just like you know, people always ask like all these questions and stuff, but it's like, what are we talking about? Like, well, I'm still learning heaps of stuff. I never know anything. And I haven't met anyone that does. Like you're always learning new things. I don't think you ever know everything. Everyone does things differently. A lot of people do things wrong. A lot of people do things right. I talk to some people. That's what I love about doing the podcast is when I bring someone in that may look like a smaller business or, you know, different to us, but they have things that they do and I'm like, fuck, that's a great idea. I'm going to do it. And it helps me grow because I can take things from other people.
A huge podcast we had at Sparky Coach was my old boss, David Long, came on from RJ Air. I would encourage anyone to go back and listen to that.
That's a good episode, yeah.
Really solid, just like a business that stood the test of time for 50 years, doing amazing work at the best homes in Sydney, which are arguably the best homes in Australia, depending on, you know, it's a subjective comment, obviously. But just really solid base of customer service and customer interaction at a really high quality.
Probably doesn't have an Instagram either.
Doesn't barely have Instagram.
That's what I mean. Like you can't judge on how good someone is on how many followers they have on Instagram. Like fucking means nothing. Like you could be the busiest, best electrical Sparky there is and not use Instagram. And like I put it down to like I had Jacob from Rhythm on the podcast. I think he's posted one photo on his Instagram and he's like 2 years, 3 years in business doing massive high rises in the Goldie. Like I didn't even know, never seen this guy before. I'm like, fuck, like, where's your Instagram with all your photos? Like, what do you mean? Like it's just like, oh yeah, no, don't really do that.
It's cool. I reckon everyone's running their own race. And Instagram was foreign to me personally until about 18 months ago. And I kind of like that in a way. It's not the be all and end all. Some of our best performers, I would say 50% of our top 15 best performers don't have social media.
Which is cool.
Or a website. Yeah.
Which is like the thing is like, it's not about work or anything like that. It's literally, I like making videos and I like posting them and showcasing what we do. Helps us, you know, it's a way to advertise for stuff like I'm trying to do now is get more guys, and it just showcases what actually goes on. And I think it gives like a pretty real representation of the work we do. Whereas like if you're making trending videos to get fucking views and likes, what does that gain you at the end of the day? Like that wouldn't make me want to go work for someone because someone's making TikTok dances on a fucking job site. Like I like seeing, oh, these guys are doing cool work. I want to work there. Oh, they look like good dudes. I want to work there. Like that's same thing with if a builder's looking at your page, are they going to use you because you're making funny like videos that are trending, or are they going to be like, oh, these guys do sick work, let's use them?
No, it's so interesting. And I think that's where you come into what I was kind of carrying on with before, that high level vision of like, hey, we need to change that. It seems to be your skill set, that you come on, it's like you look at it holistically, what we we're talking about before, where are you best suited? You're making, if your job was solely to hire and retain staff and find and retain clients, then social media or even the Spark Your Interest podcast, all that stuff is driving New Age's reputation forward, which is driving, like, a client could come and look at a living, breathing Instagram, which is almost like a portfolio of what you've done. Also, you're looking at, like I've said this on my pod before, but if I was coming to the Northern Rivers, I'd be like, well, where are you going to work? Probably, I like what you guys do. I see the work you do. It's cool. I know this is so underrated that, I'm coming at this from a 42-year-old perspective that I haven't really had in the past, but because of the age. But like, if anyone 30 plus is coming on, you're looking at career progression as well. So I think that's really important. If you want to hire and retain the best people, there's got to be an element of like, I could start here and I could progress to a point where I've got opportunity. The best people want to grow, and if you've got a company that can facilitate that growth, and if you guys want to double that, the opportunity for the staff here is huge.
Yeah,
it's so underrated, and I think that's super cool. So yeah, and the high level vision for you, like even so changing Simpro, like you see the way someone does it, probably annoys you a little bit that you guys aren't doing it. You put the wheels in motion, and then you back off onto the next thing, or you get a bit involved in that into the next thing. Do you see that as the best use of?
Yeah, I think you need someone to drive those things, hey? Like to follow up and be like, where are we at with this? Where are we at with this? Where are we at with this? And just keep everyone on a path. And that's where, like having Tamara in the office as well is like the vision I sort of have for her, and what she has as well is to, like, I guess, keep us on track of being like, hey, you guys said you're going to do this. Where are you at? Because at the start of the year, we sat down and made goals for the end of the year, what we wanted to reach 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, next year. And I was kind of like, oh, I just feel like we're not hitting anything. She's like, gone back through. She's like, no, you guys have done all this stuff that you said you want to do at 3 months. You've done it all. So like, it was good to have someone in that position to then do that. So then it makes me go, all right, sweet. Well, how are we going to start working towards the next stuff? And that's what I want to do as well. Like, obviously, start setting things in motion to build for the future. And it has to be one of us, like me or Jared, that does that. It can't be someone else. I don't think. No one else is going to decide which direction your business is going to go in. And if you're not focused on that, then it just doesn't grow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and even what you said before about, say, money or time trade-off, it's like you actually physically want to be here. I think that's a really important part of the business. Like, I physically want to be in Sparky Coach. Like, I got drive. I don't know what the future looks like, but I know the next step to take on what I want to do and achieve. And it's really interesting, I think, and I think for anyone listening that doesn't have that, I'm not going to say it's a sense of purpose, because you can lose it in the busyness. Like, try and work out, like, if you're not currently happy in your business, what would it take for you to be happy? It might be like, oh, if there was money in it, I'd be happy. Cool. We'll go back to basics and find that. Or if I had better staff members, I'd be happy. If I worked less hours, I'd be happy. Like, a lot of these things are solvable issues.
Yeah.
If you can work out, well, I know what makes you not happy, what makes you happy. So I think for anyone listening that isn't in their rhythm or their zone or their gifting, try and work out what life or business would look like if you were there, and work backwards from that. And I think a huge thing, that most underrated one, is work hours. Like, most people, if they worked a really solid 7 till 3 or 7 till 4, could go home and coach soccer and do whatever the hell you want to do with the kids, Bed Bath and Beyond, and have a lifestyle but if you put in that really solid effort and energy, especially in the office sort of thing. So yeah, work hours is so underrated.
I love coming to work every day. I don't have a day. I couldn't tell you the last day where I woke up and went, fuck, I don't want to go to work. Like, I wake up and genuinely every morning jump out of bed frothy, come in, and then, it's hard to leave at the end of the day as well. I just enjoy, I don't know if it's just like, obviously working alongside like amazing people in here and clients and everything, but it just feels like I love doing it. And it's like, I couldn't imagine not doing it. So if you have it set up like that, it's honestly like the saying of like, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. Like, I don't see it as a slog. And if I can keep it building like that and I can have that for everyone that works for us, that's like my goal, is to have a workplace where everyone feels like that. And like, whether it's a first year apprentice or a tradie that's been with us for 3 or 4 years, like, I want them to wake up and go, fuck, I love coming to work. Like, and then, so what do I have to put in place that what makes me feel that way? And then how do you navigate that with people? And we do the 3-month check-ins with everyone, 3 monthly. So set goals and just make sure, which is another thing as well. I was like, that's another thing I need to be on top of, because like, I'll sit down with everyone, set these goals, and then I need to make sure that we're hitting them, because they're not going to do it themselves. It's like, oh, I want to do a security course, and then they're not coming back in and saying, hey, can you book that course in for me? I'd be like, all right, I've booked it in here. Let's go. You're doing it. And so it's got to be, me driving those things as well. And I just always, with those conversations, is trying to be like, that's what you're trying to get the root of, like, what's going to make you happy coming to work, and how do you retain staff in that way? Because anyone that knows that's running a business now, obviously it's hard to get people. So you want to make sure at the bare minimum, you can keep people. And I think money only gets you so far, right? Like, with paying people, they've still got to enjoy coming to work, because no one who gives a fuck about making $5 extra an hour if you actually hate your life every day,
Yeah, and even if the kind of work, if it's not the type of work you want to do, or if it's not the kind of people you want to work with, or if there's no career progression, or even if there's no establishment of your company like, if you've been around for 10 years or 20 years, there's this level of confidence that comes with, oh, these guys will provide for me into the future.
Yeah.
If you've been around for 1 or 2 years, you don't really have that sort of sway of like, we've got work, we've had it for this long, and you don't have that reputation, I guess. It's a lot harder to attract and retain people at the start. So, and a question came in, which is kind of, you touched on it with the staff check-ins. How do you manage, you're obviously managing a fair few staff, subbies, like, how do you go about, dealing with is not the right word, but just sort of like different personality types, different ways of thinking, people that, you might not necessarily be just get you, like, how do you go about just dealing with different people and personalities?
It's such a hard thing, right? Because I guess it's another thing you don't think about when you start a business, is like, you might start and hire 1 or 2 people that you get along with, and you hire them because you get along with them, or they might be friends or something like that. Like, usually the first hire or two, it's probably someone right? Like, it's a friend of a friend, or someone like, you're not. I'd say if you're a one-man band, especially if you live in a small area, you'd put an ad out and hire a fucking complete random stranger. Like, it's usually like a link or someone you get along with, and so then it's like building on that. When you hire your first person, you're going to hire someone that you got to deal with every day. And that's what we repeat that. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm not working with the guys every day, but I've got to look at it in a way of like, okay, I'm going to hire this guy. Is my other staff going to get along with him? And then trying to build a team that you can see that will all get along with each other. And I think that's like the building blocks of it, is setting a company culture where you can tell everyone is going to get along with each other, which I think we've done pretty well. And it happens a couple of times where people come in and they kind of take themselves out. I think it's just like they kind of realize they don't sort of fit in or fit the mold, and they sort of just like might last 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And we start saying it, the other guys start saying it, and then I think they sort of get the picture and be like, oh, I'm gonna move on.
And is that a personality thing or a capability thing?
I think honestly, it's a personality thing. Capability sometimes. I think if you got the wrong personality of not like that you've got to rip and tear and everyone's going hard, but it's like taking responsibility is massive, and accountability, and also like care factor of just like actually giving a shit. And you can tell when people just rock up just to get the day done and they fuck off. It's different to the other guys that actually they actually care. And I think once you've got a team of people that care, it does it itself. Like, everyone gets along. it's just like from that mindset of like a team working together. I think it's the best way of creating that.
Yeah,
If you
it's
get one
interesting.
person that doesn't give a fuck, they stand out. Like, and it's so easy to tell.
Yeah, I remember for me, because we attracted like a very similar type of person typically
I think that's what
across.
we've got as well. Like everyone's pretty similar, and like a lot of the guys, everyone gets like I couldn't pick two people that wouldn't really get along, and I wouldn't
Yeah,
be like, oh, I'm not going to put those two together because they're going to clash or anything like that. We've never really had to have that.
that's a terrible problem to have on the schedule when you look at it and be like, I can't put that
Yeah,
apprentice
you
with
can't put
that.
them together. I can't do that. Yeah.
Oh, what a nightmare. Cool. And what are you what are you excited about moving into the future? Are you like what gets your
I'm excited about the growth that we've like projected. I think like we've got some pretty good opportunities coming up. I think now I hate like like tooting your own horn, but I feel like we're really getting good at like doing bigger projects, like providing a proper like decent service on the bigger projects as well. It's all well and good winning a job for being the cheapest, but then being able to like provide a good back end service on a commercial project or in a big house or whatever it is, like being able to deal with emails back and forth and variations or whatever. I think like from the feedback we get from some new clients that we've just started working with, like big building companies that have obviously worked with a lot of people, we've like it's good. Like we just won an award the other week for quality on a big commercial site, like the quality award, which is like a subcontractor award that a company has. And so I think like I know that we're putting out good work, good workmanship, training the guys well, doing good quality work, and we've got it. I guess it opens avenues for not just winning jobs for price and trying to build relationships with like getting projects because we use these guys because they're good, and that's what I want to try and keep building on. And I can sort of see that now, like whether it's residential side where the same repeat builders use you because they know you do a good job, and then same thing with the commercial side, which is obviously harder and more cutthroat to do that on. But once you build that relationship, you want the opportunity where they go, hey, we got this job, we want you guys to do it, we want to work with you, let's make it happen.
That's so cool. And I think my encouragement to everyone is just make yourself and who you could be your competition. I think that's the smartest thing you can do. Like if you can get better on systems or processes or quoting or delivery, you just make your benchmark who you could be and who your company could be rather than looking out and be like, getting insecure about what other people are doing. Just look in and be like, how can I be the best I can be? How can I run the best company I can be? What is your encouragement? Obviously, you've come a long way in 6 years, 7 years,
7 years this
5 years,
year.
seven,
Seven.
seven, the number of completion. What's your encouragement to you 5 years ago in terms of like finding work? Would you just say, hey, it'll come if you stay in your lane? Would you go out and hustle more? What would you do in that sense?
It's a hard one because I've seen people now like fucking door knocking to get work or like like I think I will still put it down to like building relationships and being a good person will get you work where you need it. Like talk to everyone as if they're a client. Like wherever you go, represent your business as like a number one priority because you never know who you're talking to or who you're going to meet. And I think it can always, people just will be like, oh, what do you do? Oh, you're Sparky. Oh, well, I know so-and-so, or this and that. Like being a good person and having that thought process when you are talking to people about this could be a potential client one day and treating everyone like that, I think it just turns into work. And once people know that you're a Sparky and you're a good person, like I feel like you just get work out of it. That happens all the time still. Like, and because we still do small stuff, it's good because people still ask us like, oh, you look like you do big stuff, but do you still do this? Like that's the other thing. I don't want to ever market us as like a company that only does commercial, and like a lot of the videos I do is because the job's next door and I go over and film it. But we still do everything, and I'll still like we've still got guys going and putting in PowerPoints for people that for 2 hours or whatever. And I think that's a good thing as well. Is don't ever get like out of your lane and get ahead of yourself. Like I've seen a lot of companies go all in commercial, and which is good. Like I love that. That's my background. I'd love to do that, but I just don't think you can ever pigeonhole yourself into that, because you can only be one job away from not winning something, and then you're fucked. And then you've got to be the cheapest to get back in the market. And I see that happening, whereas I like that we diversify around everything and go like that. Like, it's, if you're trying just for one thing, I think you just got to open yourself up to doing everything. I think people now will see like, oh, you know, interest rates and this is going to dry up, and now I've got to get, I think there'll be a big influx of people trying to get commercial work, which I don't think is the right thing to do either. Like, staying in your lane to a point, but also like doing what you're good at as well.
Yeah, it's so funny because, you know, interest rates being high for the general punter present a lot of other opportunities outside that as well. So
I think you got to remember as well, like, a lot of people that are spending money are older that don't have a mortgage, and they've got money in their fucking accounts that the interest rates mean they make more interest anyway, and they're making more money. So,
yeah,
you know, I don't think it's going to dry up completely, but I think people just see things on the news, they get worried, they wig out, oh, we're going in a fucking recession and this and that. There is so much work out there. I don't think you don't need to drop your prices to win work, or like if you're having a quiet spell, utilize that time to like work on the other parts of your business that have been lacking. And that's one thing that's always been good. If we've ever been quiet, which hasn't happened heaps, but if it does, like, instead of going all full in, just hustling and trying to, you know, do cheap work to try and get more work and keep it ticking, like spending time to build things that you're lacking in that are going to actually help your business grow is another good point to do.
Yeah, I see so many people hustle for work, and I'm like, that work would have come in anyway if you just didn't hustle. Like, it's a rare beast. Where
How many people would you know that have just ran out of work and just disintegrated into nothing? Many?
No.
Like,
Yeah, like not one maybe.
yeah, like people, like, you get worried. There's always going to be work. As long as you've got some sort of like reputable business, and most people hopefully listening to this do. Like, if you get quiet for a week, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to fucking explode into no company and everything goes under and things like that. Like, it'll come back in. Or like, you know, there's prime example of people that I know that have gone through that recently, where they've had not much work. And then I think like within 2-3 weeks, the table's going to turn. They're probably going to have too much.
Yeah, it's so funny, hey, in that sense, because you know, when you're really, my theory is like when you're really busy, if you were really busy right now and I said, hey, I can get you 1 to 2 weeks, you know, you would pay me whatever it took to get that 1 or 2 weeks, get back on top. But it's like, you know, you got to almost see a quiet spell like a blessing from the trade gods in a way. Now, I was back to what I was saying before with interest rates being high, you know, typically just look at it from a holistic point. You know, let's say people stop eating out, where are they going to show up? Woolworths. Well, who's manufacturing their bread? You know, I want to work for those guys. Like they get busier. So when one area quietens down, one ramps up. So it's a really interesting metric to look at. That's the importance of diversification. Now on this, our biggest client was, he's probably worth $1 billion back in the day. So I don't know what that would be now. It's super interesting because I'm like, at 20% decrease in property prices or his net worth isn't a thing.
Yeah.
So he's worth 800 million or, you know, 840 or 700 or God forbid 600.
Yeah.
Like he's still spending money. And I think it's interesting to like reference, not everyone is in your financial position. Like there's lots of people that have made their money, they've done their thing, and they've got money to spend and money in the bank and all this kind of stuff. So it's just interesting to be like, I just think, don't buy into any fear mongering, just buy into what you can do and how you can do it better and how you can get better. So Ford, if you had one shot, one opportunity to bless the people into their day, week, month, or maybe you got two things to say, one thing to say, what would you say?
I reckon I guess just going back on what we were just saying, and just, I think, be confident in the company that you are creating, set a bit of a path of where you want to head, and just fucking go hard for it. Like, you know, whether it's setting goals of what type of work you want to do. I know, like, we still get messages from people like, oh, I really want to do the work you do one day. It's like, all right, well, what are you doing to get that work? What are you doing to work towards that? Like, it's all well and good saying it, but like, what are you setting in motion to do it? And start setting those goals to be like, oh, I want to be doing that. How am I going to get there? This is how I'm going to get there. So like, don't set false promises upon yourself. Work towards things and make sure you get them done. It's the best way to do it.
Love that. Thanks for hanging out, man. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Anytime. See you guys. That's a wrap on another podcast. Whatever you're doing, don't be too busy to stop and check if you're making money. And above all else, you know the rules, be kind. See you soon.